I am Robyn Calvey. I own Park Ridge Organics. We are in northeast Wisconsin, just about an hour north of Milwaukee, farming on about 15 acres of certified organic land. I'm using Harvie. Our farm is using Harvie because of its extremely great experience to our members for our CSA, as well as just customers' ability to interact with the platform is why we chose it. And we've been using it for about 3 seasons. So this is, I'm going to show first the Harvie experience from a member's perspective. So we're using Harvie primarily for our CSA, for our shares. And we're also using Harvie for what they call farm stand, which is the ability for anyone to subscribe to our farm stand. And we're using it for farmers market pre-ordering. So Harvie has their CSA platform, and then as well as, or what you'd call a traditional like CSA delivery. And then they also have farm stand, which is the idea there is that somebody can buy, like we're using it for farmers market. So they buy a small $10 box, and then they can build upon that box or customize what came in that $10 box, however they would like. And it's a one-time purchase. There's no commitment to the season. So Harvie calls that farm stand. So there really are 2 parts of Harvie. And they're working to do some changes to farm stand, so it will not involve a base box at all. It would just truly be I'm gonna go shop. This farm has a link to their farm stand, and I'm gonna shop there, buy whatever I want, and then either pick up, deliver, or however it might be handled. We personally don't do home delivery, but Harvie does have a very sophisticated, and what I hear from other farmers that use it, great interface with like Road Warrior and some other home delivery components. So again, we don't use it, but from everything that I hear, it's pretty great. So in this case, I am a member. I have a share set up myself, a member of our CSA. So from a member's perspective, they log into their profile, and here they can do all kinds of stuff. They can look at my current delivery is tomorrow. I have a share coming tomorrow. I pick it up here at the farm. And then it's telling me that share has been finalized. I can't make any changes to that share because that date has already passed. Our members get an email on Friday of the week before, and then they have the entire weekend to make the changes that they want to their share before the share is finalized on Sunday evening. We set all those dates as the farm. So during that time, they can swap items, purchase extra items, do whatever they need to do from the inventory that we've told the system that we have. And then after 10 p.m. on Sunday, they can't do that anymore. And on Monday morning, we have a pick list of exactly what we need. So again, this is like my actual share on the left-hand side. It tells me that my next delivery is going to be next week. Gives them the ability to reschedule those shares, change the location if I'm going to be in a different part of town or whatever it might be. So super friendly to the members from that perspective. There's all kinds of things they can do, like so auto renewal is something that Harvie has as a part of it automatically. So right now we're preparing our members for the auto renewal that's going to happen at the end of October for the 2021 season. And I will speak from experience that it's really, I was hesitant at first to use auto renewal. I thought it was like maybe a little bit much. However, we used auto renewal from the 2019 season to the 2020 season. And just on auto renewal, we had about 50% of our members auto renew in November of the year prior. We still had we have a higher retention rate than that because more people signed up later, right? That were also returning members, but weren't able to auto renew that early, probably due to financial reasons. So right now we're looking at an even higher rate of return, like or a renewal rate when we're going from 2020 to 21. So people are really on board with that. They're super excited that they don't have to remember to sign up. And so we'll be running that auto renewal at the end of October for next year. They can cancel their membership. It's right there. Yes, we let people cancel their membership if they're unhappy, if things have changed. It's literally a click of that button. They have to say why they want to cancel. I have to approve it as the farm, but it's a very easy system for them to do that. And I would say maybe this year we've had 4 people cancel their membership for various reasons. And we are happy to, we reimburse them for what they had paid so far, if they have not received shares. So anything they've paid and haven't received shares, we would reimburse them that. So they can do all kinds of stuff in here, change credit cards. They can view their shares. So I have a share coming tomorrow, so I can go in and go ahead and see what I have coming. Has nice pictures. These pictures are all something that the farm can put up and use. There's also a bunch of stock photos. So sometimes the stock photo is great. A yellow onion. Oops, it's a red onion. We forgot to change the photo when we did the when we did the estimate. So accidents happen. But like this is their stock broccoli photo. Looks great. I didn't feel that we needed to change it. So tells them everything that they're getting and all those delivery details. So this is really nice. They also get an email on delivery day that tells them the same stuff. It's really nice because they have their site host's phone number right in front of them. If they need to make some changes last minute or whatever, they have all that. They have access to all of that at all times. Yeah, so then the big thing with Harvie that's different than other platforms, as far as I understand, is that the member can set their preferences. And this is the way that Harvie, the algorithm that Harvie uses to build each member's share is based on their individual preferences. This is what's unique about Harvie. This is why we chose to use it as our platform for our CSA. So when a member signs up, they go through this very adorable smiley face, sad face rating system where they can say whether or not they want this item or not. So I'll get into the vegetables here. So like beets are an example where someone might love them or they're like, I'm okay with them, right? So if they choose the not for me, they will never see that item in their share, ever. So if they rank at the lowest item, they'll never get it in their share. The algorithm builds the shares in a random order. The names are jumbled in a random order each week. The items that the farmer enters, it goes through in a different, we can set that priority. And if that person doesn't want the beets, they'll never get the beets, which I think is what's really unique and makes for a very different member experience than a lot of the other platforms might do. So all they have to do is one time. They have to go through, set these preferences. It's kind of fun. Members love it. They can change them at any time. But the idea is if they really all they have to do is set it once and they're good for the season. And then it should build them their box based on how they want it to look. And so that's the preferences tab. Deliveries is a great tab where the member can, again, like go in and reschedule a share. So if, let's say next week, I know I'm going to be out of town, I could reschedule that share so I get a double share on the following week. So you can double up. You can do that as many times as they want, which I do think is a great feature. People don't have to miss out if they're going to be gone. And then one other big part that's really great for the farm and for the member is that they have a very easy refer a friend program. Right now I have it set at $25. So every member that refers somebody and they successfully sign up, the member gets $25 in credits and the new member gets $25 in credits. So those are credits that the member can use to purchase extra items during the season. So they get a unique copy, unique URL that they can send off to their friends, and then encourages them to help build the membership up from word of mouth, which is of course the best and seems to be the most effective way to build your CSA membership. So I think that's pretty much the member end of the system. And so that from being like a CSA member, and what I wanted to show you was the farm stands. So I had mentioned that we're using Harvie's farm stand for farmers market pre-ordering. So right now we happen to be in the middle of a pre-ordering time period. So what a person could do, so even if they're a member of our CSA, they can log in here and click on our farm stand page. This URL, the farm stand Park Ridge Organics, is accessible to anybody. So you don't have to be a member to go to this. I'm just using that as a quick shortcut to get there. So this is what our farm stand looks like. This is, again, for this coming Saturday's farmers market. We're using the Harvie platform for a one-off purchase. So I have entered all the items. This week it's 25 different items. I entered all of those. The person can click on this and be like, oh, do I want to make an order? Do I not want to make an order? They can do a little pre-shopping. Once they're like, yep, I definitely want to place an order, they're going to choose the pickup location, which right now we're using a market curbside. And in this case right now, they do have to choose a base box. And we're doing a minimum order of $10. So they have to choose a minimum order of a $10 box. So I'm going to go ahead and select that share. This is what a person would, the process they'd be going through. My contact info is already there because I'm already a member. And then I'm going to purchase the $10 base box and start customizing it. Okay. So that $10 base box is something that Harvie's working to do away with. So there won't be like a base box anymore. You'll truly be able to just fill your shopping cart. That's the part of it that I'm excited about, that will be happening probably in the next month and hopefully even more into next spring. But right now it's telling me that my $10 base box auto-filled some items, right? So it already put a broccoli and a celery and a garlic and 3 jalapenos and a couple cayenne in my box. I'm getting all that for 10 bucks. If I'm like, you know what, I don't really want the garlic because I already have some garlic, I can swap my garlic out for something else. And it's going to tell me what I'm going to have to pay for the difference. So you know what, instead of my garlic, I really want a bulb of fennel instead. And it's telling me like, okay, you can do that, but you're going to get charged $1. And I'm okay with that. So the reason for that is garlic is $2 and fennel is $3. So I'm going to be okay with it, but it's going to cost me $1 to do that change. So again, this is just what the base box is. I can change that however I want. And then as I scroll down, it's going to also give me the ability to purchase any extras. And so, yep, I'm going to grab a bag of mushrooms, or I want to like add a bag of carrots to that. I can add that in. Kind of gives you the, hey, that got added, and now you're going to pay, you have to pay $4 for those carrots. People can add whatever they want. And then you scroll down to the bottom and it tells me a little review of what I'm getting in they're calling it a share because, right, we're using this platform that's really intended for CSA to do a one-off purchase. So the language is still a bit CSA, but I think it's okay. I think they're also understanding that they're buying a share of that Harvie. So I'm going to be paying for the market base box, which is these items in my share. And then I'm also getting some extra items that I added on. So it tells you that this is what your total is going to charge you. And your order has been saved. It's all good to go. And if you want to make changes, they actually have all the way until Friday morning to make any changes. So you wake up in the middle of the night and you really want to add on that extra, put that celery back in that you got rid of, or the garlic that you got rid of, they have until the cutoff time, and it clearly states whatever that is. And the farmer set that, whatever you want to set it as. So that's how the farm stand portion of Harvie works. And this has been a little bit confusing to people using it because there's nothing here that you click to say like, save, I'm done. It's actually just, it's kind of a live thing that's happening. So again, they could log back in 2 hours and there is no butterhead available. This is a inventory of items that is in a live system. So like one thing that we'll sell out of almost guaranteed is our mushrooms that we sell. So right now there's mushrooms, but in a few hours there could be no mushrooms. It just won't show up there. So that's kind of the farm stand side of stuff. It's super easy for them to cancel that order if they decide something came up, they can't even come to market. And that's so that's how that side of it works. The farmer side of Harvie is, I think it's very easy to use. There's sometimes some redundancy, which I guess is not a bad thing, right? So it has a great, and I've been with Harvie for enough years to watch this all morph and modify itself as we're going along. One thing I will say about Harvie is that they are very transparent. So we get development updates on a weekly basis, which if you're not a tech person, it's kind of fascinating to me because half of the language, I don't even understand what it means. But I also think that it's very good for the people using it to understand, like, even if I don't understand what that all means when they're telling me the stuff they're doing on the back end, it's showing me that they do care and they're making changes very frequently. So where this was like 3 seasons ago is totally not where it is now. And it's great that even this back end of it is so much easier to use than it used to be. And I only anticipate that it'll keep getting better. So the main part, the bread and butter of the Harvie backend is a couple different tabs. I'm just going to start at the top because it's at the top, right? But Deliveries tab is an extremely important place. So this is where we go in and create our deliveries. They're all called deliveries, right? Pickups, whatever you want to call them. This is where we go in and create our weekly pickup for our CSA. And this is the same place as where we go in and create our weekly or every other week market pre-order delivery. So you're using the platform. It's not a different place. You're just in the same. It's called a delivery. So you'll see that this is the market pre-order for this coming Saturday. This is week 15, which is tomorrow's shares for our 400 and whatever members. So I can look at, like, this is my pick list. Obviously it's Wednesday afternoon, so we've picked most of this, or God, I hope we have. If we haven't, we're in trouble. But so this is our pick list for this coming week. Breaks everything down. We have some add-on shares, so it's telling us all that. It has all these great reports that we can look at. Oh, we haven't finalized it yet, so I can't look at the reports. Let me show you the reports from the week prior. So this is our week 14 CSA. It gives us all these really great reports. And just to kind of give you a little bit of a glimpse, because I think these are some of the features that we've really liked about Harvie, gives us a driver report. We print that right out and we give it to our driver, tells them how many boxes should be left at each site. They're all a customized share with the person's name on it. So all of our add-on items are right in the share with their vegetables. We don't have any additional boxes or anything. The system makes a label that we print. So each member has an individualized label with their items in their box. So that we're printing on a 4x6 label and sticking it on, we're using it to go along in our assembly line and pack the box. And then we're also sticking it on the container. So this is what carries over at the site so that each member knows which box is theirs, what to take from, their phone number's right on there. So if they forget, their site host has it all right in one great place. So we really, really like that labeling system for our CSA. It's the same for our market pre-order. So this was the last time we did a market pre-order a couple weeks ago. And we were able to download those same labels. And this is showing us, exactly what Barb ordered. And it all went, and it is even smart enough to know that Barb's order was quite large, and it's going to roll into a second label, and which means we rolled it into a second box. So it's pretty smart at knowing that kind of stuff too. So that's Deliveries is in a nutshell. There's a whole lot of information here, right, that I'm kind of breezing over. If a member would call you and say, I ordered for this Saturday, you can preview each person's share. So we'll use this screen to kind of find out, oh, look at what they ordered. Or just before I was impersonating my daughter, Frances, so I can actually scroll down and here was my share. So I did that on the member end. I ordered a curbside location. It shows me what she's getting and what the extra values were that was purchased. So that's the back end of that farm stand as well. So that's deliveries. There's a whole bunch that goes into this when you're setting up each week's delivery that I guess it's worthy of probably mentioning. So when we set up each week's estimate, in this case, I'm pulling up one of our CSA weeks, we set the item, the amount that we're gonna have, and the price each and every week. So we are determining that. It can change. You know how things go, right? Your broccoli might be $3 this week, but next week they got huge and crazy and they're gonna be $4 heads. We want to give away a lot of sweet peppers right now because the peppers are going like crazy. So we lower the value a little bit on a weekly basis. So Harvie allows you many different places to work with the value of your product. And that is one reason that I very much like using it for CSA. Yes, okay. So it is a value-driven system. Each member or well, in the case of members, each member paid a certain amount of money. It's only going to build that box up to that amount of money, whatever you set it at. You could have a box that everyone paid $30 for, and you want to set the value at $25 on the back end so that their share gets filled up to $25, and you're using that extra $5 as a just a fee, like a delivery fee or a processing fee or whatever you want. Or you could do it the opposite. You could have your people all pay $30 and you're going to give them $35 worth of produce. I don't advise that. I think that's a silly way to do business, but that's me. So that's the delivery tab. The other great part, which I think is a crucial thing about CSA or just small farming, is that we want to communicate with our members or our customers. So there's a happenings tab, and that's where you can go in and write up any type. It's basically a blog. So I can go in here and add a new one, write a new one if I want. It's actually a live link. So it will be a part of our Harvie page as a farm. So I think that's kind of nice because it's like, it's there for many people to read. You can go back in and look at the archives of our different farm happenings over the years. So I do think that it is a great piece of Harvie that you can have this sort of basically a blog, a running blog. There's places where we can send that happening out to our members. We can link that happening in with their weekly announcement of what they're getting in their share. There's a lot of places to loop the happening in and communicate with your members. The members tab, we do a lot of stuff in here. So looking up, I'm in here all the time looking up different members. So Frances is my daughter that I was doing that share with. And I can go in on the back end and look at the information about any member. You can impersonate the member, which I think is very useful when they're calling you and they're like, I am not seeing that. I know that I swapped this for that. I know that whatever it might be, you can actually go in, impersonate it, and you're looking at exactly what the member would be looking at, which is a nice way to be able to access their account. You can see any of the orders that they've made. Here was the base box that I just ordered moments ago. You can see any of their upcoming deliveries. So here's my small share that I'm getting tomorrow. Here's my market base box that I'm getting at market. You can actually see their preferences. And this is a great thing too. You can view their box log. And this has been super useful when people are like adamantly swear that were supposed to get something in their share. You can go in and see exactly what they did. If they removed it or if they swapped it, you could see that and be able to kind of remind them. And then in most cases, remember, oh, that's right, I think I did remove that. but I never added a thing instead or something like that. Doesn't happen often that we have members get bogged up on that, but I think it's been great for us to see what they're doing in their share. It's really easy to add credits. So if you'd have a mistake, like, oops, we did forget their second pint of cherry tomatoes because we're human beings and we missed it. You can give them a credit. So yes, you could try to give them the cherry tomatoes the following week. And there's a place to add a note, which is really nice. So on that label, it would show up like, hey, put in the missing cherry tomatoes, or you can give them a credit. So you could just give them a credit for the value, and then they're able to use that credit for any swapping up charges or any extras that they wanted to purchase. So yeah, members tab, pretty useful. There's a reports tab that there's a lot of information in here, but I think the one that I go to the most is going to be the share delivery report. So this is going to break down at each week of delivery how many shares are going to where and what sites. This is useful for different logistical things. We're trying to get rid of a few sites right now that maybe aren't holding enough members at them. So I can kind of come in and look at a snapshot of how many shares are going to what sites. It also gives us a total number of share. We have 3 different sizes, so it's giving us a total number of shares. So it looks like, and this is lumping things together. We have 28 large, 114 medium, and 271 small shares going out to tomorrow. And then we do have 18 market orders so far for this Saturday. This value number on the end is actually the money that's coming into the farm from these shares. So we use a payment plan Harvie has a payment plan for members. They can pay in full, or they can use the Harvie payment plan. And that payment plan involves them paying some money up front, some money at the start of season, and the remaining balance is divided across the entire season equally. So every week we're getting, a couple $1,000s is coming in. It's getting charged to the member's credit card, and then it's getting deposited to the farm. And that was a little bit of an adjustment depending on how your cash flow works on your farm. For us, it did take some adjusting because we actually get we get quite a bit of our income from shares during the season. We do get a lot of it before. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of people that want to pay up front, and we do an early sign up. So we are getting income early on to cover expenses that we need to in the off season, seeds, inputs, stuff like that. But then what I love about this is that we're also getting a fairly decent amount of money during the season on a weekly basis, which super helps with labor. I feel like it's kind of my budgeter. Like it's just a really good, that money isn't coming until I need it kind of thing. Yeah, there's great easy ways to send emails. So you can, anytime you want. We had pumpkins at last week and this week, we have someone selling pumpkins just at the farm pickup. So it's super easy to go in here, add a new email, filter it out by whatever you want. Recent members, people who aren't a member, people who are a member only for this week, and they are only picking it up at one particular site. There's just a million ways to filter out people for a message. So that's a really nice feature too, to send out emails directly from the Harvie system. And then there is a settings tab, of course, but like I said, a whole bunch of this stuff is done by Harvie, by the staff at Harvie as far as initial setup. So I can go in here and make some tweaks. Like if I had a location that called me, a pickup location, who really wanted to change their time, I can do that. I can go into my sites and I can make any changes that I need to. What I can't not do is like add a site. So that's an example of, if I wanted to add a site, I would have to go through Harvie support to do that. And that might seem like, what, you don't want to, but it's truly because there's a lot to a site. They have a mapping system. So I've been okay with the things I'm not able to do. I understand this many years into it, why it's important that they do it so that things are cohesive across the entire Harvie system. Yeah, products, you can, you have all the stuff that you're offering at your farm. You can go in and edit that however you want. So, I talked about the stock photos. You can go in and change those stock photos. Here's pak choi, which really to me looks like it is a bok choy picture. So if I wanted, I could go in here, choose the default image, and then it would always use that default image so that when I'm setting up my estimates, it's very clear. You also can set the weight. So when I showed you those labels, it is smart, and it's putting everything in a weighted order. So you have control over that. So cabbage obviously is probably going to be closer to the bottom. I mean, it's this huge scale now that they have that you can put it on. So I'm happy with, cabbage being a number 2. It means it's going to end up higher on the label, first on the pack list, or on the, on the packing order, so that it goes into the box on the bottom. Yeah, I think that's, again, I don't use shipments, but this would be like, this is the part of Harvie that I don't use, but from everything I understand, it's pretty awesome. And so I'm not gonna touch too much on it. The university is all the help stuff. So this is where, oh my gosh, I'm having a hard time with setting up, integrating QuickBooks with Harvie, or doing something with the auto renewal, or there's tons of information in here to help the farmer and the members, in fact, if you have issues with something, you're trying to fix it. The advice that I would have for anybody pursuing online is to do it, pursue it. I think there's a value that we're all a little bit quick to dismiss, and that's the value of our time to do the administrative end of so many things that we do. And yes, I do spend a lot of time on a computer managing a platform, right? But the information I can pull from it is so much more valuable and useful because I am using an online platform. So it's not like it's less work, but instead of spending my time entering someone's handwritten form or on the phone with somebody who's placing an order for our farmers market, we still do have a few people that call in their order. Instead of that time, I'm spending my time, looking at how much money did leave the farm in the form of carrots through our CSA. Like, that data is all there. And I think that I'm still spending a bunch of time doing administrative things, but the things that I'm spending my time doing are different, and they're so much more useful in the long term. So some people may feel that going with some kind of online sales is daunting, and it is. It can be really hard if you're not familiar and comfortable with that. But I feel like for the most part, with familiarity of using it, and the longer that you can use it, it will become easier, just like anything that you do. And then you'll be able to sort of step back and see that, like, it just is a really useful way of spending your time on a computer, or spending your time doing administrative stuff. If you're actually getting that information out of it, it's just so much more useful.